Hey guys, welcome to Friday night. So, I have been anxiously waiting to get to paint the Doom guy. He's primed, he's ready, and I'm ready to get him into paint. But I wanted to, one, talk about paint tonight because I'm going to try to stick with a particular brand as I go through the rest of this one. As you guys can see, Eva has decided to join me. Hey, Zero Cools. Hey, Douglas. Hopefully the audio is working. I see the bar moving, so it should be working. But thanks for the reminder. So, hi everybody. Welcome to Friday night. Hopefully everybody's had a good work week. Mine's been a bit crazy, so I decided to do a stream to kind of make sure I'm giving you guys content. And, well, the Doom guy has just been sitting on my list. I have him primed, and I just want to get to work on him. So that's kind of what I'm going to do tonight is get some more stuff going. And Douglas, you said you got the CR10 Smart, right? I think is what you is the printer that you got. Hopefully, I think you said you were even going to try to unbox it tomorrow, correct? So hopefully that goes well for you and you can get that thing unboxed and get started, man. Because yeah, those CR printers are fun. But the Doom guy has been on my list. I've been kind of mulling colors, paints, and stuff like that, looking at some of the online models and different things like that. I actually need to print off a couple of the reference art photos that I want to use. But like I said, I've taken them, that's the wrong camera. I've taken them into primer, and I did a black and gray coverage because I wanted the black to definitely help fill in where it's going to be darker, to kind of help with the shades, but I wanted the grays to help make the greens and stuff stand out. BD1. Cool. That's awesome. Zero Cools, what printer are you using, man? And of course, this was printed with my Frozen Sonic Mega 8K, using Frozen 8K's resin, and it just comes out so great. And yeah, I'm just ready to get this thing, start getting some paints on it. And of course, there's gonna be airbrushing. There's gonna be just standard stuff too. Mono X 6K, awesome, man. And an Ender 5. Ooh, you know, I've never used an Ender 5. A lot of people like them, but I have never used one in the print shop. Cool, ABS-like resin. That's going to be a tough statue. Yeah, Thingiverse just has tons of stuff, but be wary. Don't always trust Thingiverse. Definitely look it over when you're slicing it, because free files can be, sometimes they're not complete. I've run into this quite a bit, especially with the Star Trek stuff. That I've run into just bad files. So just be careful of that, Douglas. Make sure when you're going through slicing, you're looking at it. When you look at the review, you know, the summarization before you go through, make sure everything looks attached in one piece. I kind of get that camera up so we can get almost break the blade off. That would have been bad. But yeah, we're going to start getting some color on this guy. Yeah. You know, it's one of those things, completely accurate doesn't always bug me. It's more, you know, like I run into this a lot with the Star Trek ships. It's a full ship model. You put it on there. It looks great. You slice it, and then the warp struts are missing. You know, the nacelle pylons are not there, and you get this half mangled print. It can be really painful. Douglas, just kind of look around for what you're looking for, and just kind of take your time. You don't always have to do a subscription. So, and just because you buy something from somebody doesn't mean it's going to be complete either. I've run into that a couple times where I've kind of been bamboozled. So kind of just look at the model. If you run into something, you're new at this, you know you can ask me via email. But it's just kind of one of those things, kind of take your time with it. Now, of course, you know, I'm doing the Wicked Patreon, and it's $10 a month. You get lots of cool Marvel stuff, lots of good figures. Those guys do a really good job, and you get a lot for your $10 a month. So they do a really good job. Now, painting this guy, this is what I want to talk about. I'm going to try to stick to some specific stuff. Specifically, I'm going to try to go with Monument Hobby, and their Pro Acryl line is where I'm going to probably do a lot of the work with this. This was primered with black Army Painter primer, come back with Tamiya XF18, blown to kind of accentuate how the light's going to hit this. So definitely kind of one of those things. It's kind of, I've just kind of taken my time, but especially where I know like the tan armor on this side, the green, of course you're going to have the orange down in here and the green pauldrons and stuff. I wanted that gray so that the green would sit really well. So, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start probably with the camo green, get a good layer, then come back with the black green to really kind of do some of my color lines. So what I'm going to do with this camo green, I do not know why Eva is restless tonight, but she is definitely being restless today. I'm going to get this opened up. And what I've learned with open these, paint will stick to the top here. I love these guys. Monument Hobby does a great job. I love their bottles and how they do stuff. But what I do is when I peel that off, and you can see that color, it's just beautiful. I put it into my wet palette. And of course get it all over my fingers too, because the wet palette's going to keep that to where I can use this for a little while. There's going to be touch-up lines. All right. So I'm going to be doing mostly airbrushing, so sorry guys, it is going to get noisy. But yeah, Douglas, definitely do your research. Thingiverse is a great site. Cults 3D is a pay/free site. They have really cool stuff as well. Yegi.com is a really okay search engine for paints, and can be definitely a good place to help you narrow down your search for models. Yeah, I like that. And find hidden ones. But I buy stuff off CG Trader. I buy Game Body every once in a while. It just kind of depends on where you're looking for, and what you're looking for. Can kind of determine how hard it is to find a model. So just kind of keep that in mind while you do your search. All right, so I've got that. I need a little bit of reducer to thin this down a little bit. I don't think I've opened this reducer yet. Galactic Armory has a lot of good stuff. Some of the stuff I can, some of the stuff I don't always agree with. I can find for free in regard to the armor, but Game Body stuff is always, it's always a good purchase. 50/50 by the close look. Coupled with the reducer, you can see it's kind of changed the color of it a little bit. That's planned. And what I want to work on tonight, I'm going to work on the chest armor plate. I'm going to get up into this pauldron, the arm, and here. This one is going to be the umber, which I like the light umber for. But I just want to get some work done on this tonight. I'll be honest, after I primed it, I've been itching to work on this for a few days. So really kind of stoked to get the Sotar out here and get started. Now, the reason why I use the empty dropper bottles is I know I'm going to be using this color a lot. The Sotar doesn't hold a lot, and I don't want a lot in the brush. So I just kind of keep it kind of low. Just kind of do some test spray here to kind of see how it's going to air out. You guys can see it's going to come out in a nice pattern. I'm going to do a little bit of adjustment on my gauge here. That's more of what I'm wanting, giving me a little bit more control. That's too far. So right there is where I want. All right, make sure I got enough hose. Now let's start making this guy look good. Overspray right now, I'm not too worried about. This is just the first layer. I'm putting it on thin on purpose. All right. This is always the fun part. So Zero Cool, where are you at? I know, Douglas, you're in Reno. Zero Cool, where are you hailing from? And anybody else that's joined to watch this awesome model start to take shape. This is always kind of the fun part for me, is seeing the color start to go onto a model. We're starting to give it life. Pittsburgh, oh man, you're near my time zone. Right now, like I said, this is just the starting phase. I'm not too worried about overspray. I'm not too worried about that. So but I am excited to see color on this guy. So this guy's actually sat in my garage. I printed him probably 4 or 5 months ago, and I'm just now getting to work on him. So kind of really stoked. Zero Cool from Hackers. Not sure. Is that a channel? What do we got there, guys? Go ahead and elaborate for me on that one, because Zero Cool, I'm pretty interested in learning about everybody coming to watch. So definitely share about yourself here. Ah, movie named Hackers. Okay. This is resin. This one is a resin. It was printed with my Frozen Sonic Mega 8K. And the stream earlier this week, we tried to take care of a lot of the lines that were there in support. So we cut it up. We did some sanding with the Mr. Hobby G tool, and did a lot of cleanup on him to get rid of any of those lines. So we've been very much working to get this guy looking smooth. You can tell I'm just stoked with the way it's looking, and getting, like I said, just getting to start putting color on has been making my day, to be honest. I appreciate it, because I know the guys that watched on Tuesday, I was sitting here, face mask and all, sanding this guy clean. And it's finally getting to put some color on it. What model paint are you using on your FDM prints? Because I tell you, this Zero, I love Monument Hobby, just does a really good job. A little bit of reducer, and things just kind of flow in really nicely. You guys can see how well just adding the reducer took this right into the airbrush, and it just started laying down a clean layer. Oh, the tester model paints. I used to paint with Testors enamel paints a long time ago. My father and I did. And, you know, I just like acrylic better for the cleanup. This is an old print or old model kit. My father did most of it with the enamels, but I've been switching around a lot. I've been using a lot of Citadel, Monument Hobby. I'm really liking their paints, the paints that I've got. I just recently got their washes. I'm really kind of anxious to try those out. You guys can see it back here. I've been waiting to do a video on their signature series paints for the modeling channel. I just haven't done any of that yet. Vallejo's really good. Monument Hobby, like I said, you guys can see how clean this is actually working for me. I'm going to clean the brush here and switch out to the umber. But I just like how the paint works. Me, I originally hail from St. Louis, or the St. Louis area, but now I live in Savannah. So I'm hanging out in Georgia. And looks like I get to go hit the ban button over on Twitch. We used to be there for a long time. Acrylic paints just weren't that good. You had like the Apple Tree brand, stuff like that. You didn't have what we have now. So I mean, I use just about everything. I use Citadel. I use all kinds of stuff. And the acrylic has really been a joy for me to work with. And I'll tell you guys the trick I was taught. Yep, Savannah, Georgia is where I'm at. The trick I was taught with acrylics is distilled water. Don't use tap water because the paint can react very differently with the chlorine and stuff in the tap water and kind of make everything up. The other thing I like about Monument Hobby, one, dropper bottle. That's plus for me. A little messy, but not, you know, big plus, way over the Citadel pots. Even though I love Citadel colors. To be honest, I love their colors a lot. But they also have the ball bearing in the bottle. So go check out monumenthobby.com, guys, is where these paints come from. That and their prices are really good. So I don't need as much of this, but it's always nice to have, because what I'll do is I will actually label these mixed bottles, which are great because I'm going to have to come back and do more with the green and the airbrush. That's why the bigger things that I know that I'm airbrushing, I do these bottles. But definitely, guys, take a look at the acrylic paints. Because, you know, you're having to use paint thinner on the enamels and stuff like that to clean up your brushes and stuff like that. So with the acrylics, it's just distilled water. You don't have to do that. All right, so that's the burnt umber that we're going to put on some panels. Again, I'm not worried about overspray at this point in the project. So I'm just worried, trying to get some base colors on here is the goal, especially for tonight. And the Sotar 2020 airbrush, guys, is just fantastic. Ooh, that's not spraying the way out. That's awful watery. There we go. And you know what? If the paint goes on too watery, guess what? That's what a paper towel is for. And when you're airbrushing, the key to airbrushing, thin light coats. I'm not worried about overspray right now or any of that. As you guys can see, adding in the burnt umber gives that nice brown that goes on his shoulders. On the side here with the blade. And actually, I'm gonna kind of take the umber and kind of start doing a base layer on the sword's leather strappings. Whoops. Starting to kind of apply that coloring in here. Well, that's one of the things with the acrylics. I tend to lacquer over it. So I will put a clear coat on, usually a matte coat, to seal the acrylics. So definitely one of those things. Yeah, this is a Sotar 2020. These are really handy, really good brushes, and make life easy, to be honest. They make life just really kind of nice and easy to work with and get in here and paint with. Where is my distilled water? You ever watched the Slideshow Collectibles paint? No, I have not. Yeah, I've not heard of them. Get my airbrush cleaned up here. Clean the pot. Pot. But yeah, so the skin painting technique that I use is done was taught to me by Joe Hudson. And guys, stay tuned to actually, it's going to go up on both channels. I'm hoping to put it up Sunday. I actually got to sit down and do Joe Hudson and I sat down for 30 minutes and just had a conversation about painting, paints, all that kind of fun stuff. So I'm hoping to put that out Sunday, but no guarantees I will get that one done, unfortunately. Yeah, I've got a spray booth sitting here, which so far right now I haven't really needed it, but if I'm doing anything like enamels and stuff, I turn that on. So, but all right. Boy, this is already making me feel better. I'm already liking the way the green looks. Actually, I am going to grab a steel color, start doing those abs. With some Vallejo through here in a lot of the pictures. I'm just going to use Vallejo Model Air gunmetal to start. Just kind of a base layer there. So the nice thing about the Vallejo airbrush paints, they're pretty much ready to go in your brush. I don't need a whole bunch for this. Sometimes you got to add a drop or two of reducer. Yeah, I'm stoked to finally actually get to do more painting. I really want to get the more painting on the model channel. I just have not had time. Matter of fact, you can see back over my shoulder here, I'm still trying to put together the third Gundam for that channel. I just have not had time. Actually, take my rag here, because I changed my compression when I was cleaning the brush. Whoa, that's not good. There we go. Had a bit of a cloggy. All right. You can see just kind of how that gunmetal just goes in there and does some really good work. I'm gonna kind of lay this down a little bit because I want to use what I have in the brush, and there's nothing better, no place better to use it than go up on the gun. I got another clog. Turn up the air pressure and get rid of the clog issue. There we go. Just adding in that gunmetal just really kind of helps pop the effects. The nice thing about acrylics is it dries really, really fast, especially when you're airbrushing. So, yeah, the CR10S5, man, that thing's huge, Douglas. Even I'm kind of hesitant to go up to something that big. I'll stick with my M4 and my Max. Actually, guys, I'm going to be right back. I need to go grab a tool from the garage. All right. I like this. It's a brush that helps clean out the airbrushes. All right, I want to move you back a little bit. Yeah, Douglas, that 500 millimeter, that kind of freaks me out a little bit. It looks like fun though, but I mean, I don't know. I'd have to probably make it live in my garage. I don't think an S5 would be able to live in my print shop, sadly. The CRM4s are almost too big. There we go. Getting about time to maintenance the airbrush, which means the sonic cleaner. I'll take it apart, put all the parts in the sonic cleaner, and get it all good and cleaned out. And life will be good. Smaller 3D printers can be handy. The Focus Odin 5 is one of my faves for the smaller ones. The Ender 2 Pro is really good if you need a really small one. That's also very compact in travel. The Odin 5 Focus, it's meant to be folded up and put away. It's a good one for storing. All good printers. And the rifle, the rest of the gunmetal, I'll do that off camera. But let's have some fun. Let's get some red, shall we? I don't know if that's the one I want. Oh, I don't want magenta, that's for sure. I'm looking for a really nice... here we go. Here's the one I want. Burnt red. Because basically, I'm going to have him walking through blood. And the Ender 2 Pro is really nice. So my Ender 2 Pro... So guys, I know I don't put the Ender 2 Pro on the channel very often. And here's why. The Ender 2 Pro that I have, that's my traveling printer. That printer goes with me when I'm going to talk to a school or something like that. I have it travel quite a bit with me. So it doesn't show up a lot. But I do use it quite a bit. Did I even open this one? I may have just made a mistake here. Oh no, you are open. I have used you. So the Ender 2 Pro is really nice. The handle is very well done on it. Makes it really easy to use, travel with. The Odin 5 is really nice too. I'll take it occasionally. I used to take it a lot before I had my Ender 2 Pro. But yeah, the Enders are great series printer. Usually, I don't have kind things to say about my S1, but you know, there's always a dud every once in a while. Ooh, that is turned way up too high. There we go. All right. Now, for this one, my wet palette needs to move aside. This red is kind of coming out a bit brighter than what I wanted, but we'll dull it down with some highlight colors and different things like that. But it does give kind of a good start base color to work with here. So we've been doing this for what? How long have I been streaming? We've been going for about 32 minutes. Look at the color change. We went from gray to really kind of starting to bring out accents, highlight certain parts of the armor, and we're getting kind of a strong base coat, which was the goal tonight, was to start to get the base. Because like his visor, that'll be last. We're gonna do a lot of detail work on the gun. Where's my brush? But I mean, the model has changed drastically to start to really like the Doom guy. We've got to come in black. This area is actually orange, so that'll have to I will probably do a little bit of airbrushing. Not a ton, probably. And take that into orange. And just kind of start making this through. Living Frog's Heart, that's pretty cool. I know and have talked with several companies that do like surgical models and stuff from CT scans and stuff like that. Actually, there's an interview with those guys on the channel here. They're called Med Dimensions. You go check that interview out because those guys are pretty darn cool, to be honest. The way they've managed to leverage 3D technology. I'm waiting on my new 3D scanner to arrive too. I'm really kind of excited to really start doing that. So all of these paints are Monument Hobby. So definitely go check those out. These guys are really awesome. I'll put a link in the description probably tomorrow. But yeah, we're already starting down the road with the Doom guy. I'll have to really do a good job washing my hands. But unfortunately for me, just in this little bit of time, I want these base layers to stabilize. So I need to leave them alone for a little bit, let them kind of dry and cure. But I'll change the view here so you guys can get a little bit better view. So you guys can see the steel highlighting those center plates, the brown for this arm. And of course we got to go in and do flesh tones. There's still more green work that needs to be done. This is just the start. You can see the gunmetal, how it starts to really change the way the gun looks with the metallic to it. And the blood in the base, as that dries, it's going to dry darker, which is going to look really, really nice. So definitely got some stuff. We've got definitely some dark silver and metal work to do on his back, some leathering. It works really, really well. And one thing too, ZeroCast, take a look at the Sonic pad with Clipper on some of the newer models. It can really help out on speeds too. So that's something to check out. I wish I'd gotten the other video done. So yep, I was doing the same thing, Zero Cools. I was playing Doom quite a bit back then. It was one of the few games I had. Doom, Duke Nukem, Quake, when all that stuff was floating around. So we've got some initial coat on here. We're starting to see some colors. It's starting to kind of take to life versus the blah statue. I've still got to finish working on this piece. That will go back on his shoulder. It's got to be primed and worked up. So that's still coming. Lots of cool stuff. Hey, Eric, welcome to the stream, man. So lots of still cool stuff coming. I know this was kind of an impromptu stream. I just was kind of dying to work on it. Don't be surprised if something pops up over the weekend. because I gotta have this done by June. So yeah, a little busy, but thanks everybody for joining up. I unfortunately have to hop for some work stuff, so stick around, make sure you're subscribed, hit that notification bell and set it to all notifications. That way you get all the notifications of when I start one of these. We always do a live stream, 90% of the time do a live stream on Tuesdays at 8:15 CST. Oh yeah, the Voodoo 3 graphic card. Yeah, Zero Cool. I know what you died about there. The good old Voodoo cards. That's a blast from the past right there. You just made me feel really old, man. But that's the way it goes, right? So if you're new here, make sure you're subbed. If you're here and you enjoyed the video, give us that thumbs up. And if you want to, go down into the chat after this becomes a video and put Doom Guy. Let me know you watched this all the way through so you know to have to go do that. So thank you guys. Have a great weekend. If you're off this weekend, hopefully you get to enjoy it. And I will catch you guys. If I don't do one over the weekend, I'll catch you guys on Tuesday as we put even more detail into this awesome figurine and maybe a sneak peek at what I'm doing next. So thanks, guys. Have a good one.